it was a few months ago that the management of Boom Festival asked me to give a talk about time to become radical in times of political situation and women's situation. And I prepared a beautiful presentation about the history of the goddess in the Middle East, and presentation about my radical decisions as a young woman in the Arab world. How is it to be a Bedouin? How is it to be a Muslim and to be in this radical movement? And I find myself in the last week again and again hesitating to come here and to be in a festival. And I already shared it with people that I cannot just come here and stand in a beautiful place like this and face people and speak the same presentation that I wanted to do when we are in times of war. So I decided that I cancel my presentation, and my friends and my colleagues said, no, actually you have to take this time and to take the chance and speak up your voice and speak it actually in front of people like you. Thank you. So here I am, and this is my decision, and right now I'm happy to be with you, happy to see that you are using your time and the privilege of being in a safe and protected place to enjoy life and to celebrate life, because life was meant and still meant to be a love affair, a taste of paradise, a taste where we encounter each other with love, with trust, with mutual support. So thank you for taking a decision to celebrate life, and thank you that you celebrated for those who cannot celebrate it in this moment. And so I want to dedicate this talk now, this hour, to face 2,000 people who lost their lives in the last 2 weeks in Gaza, 61 in Israel, and to see that their souls and their spirits is around us here in this moment. Sorry, I knew that I would not be able to hold the speech, that's why I wanted to cancel. So, excuse me. It's really not easy when you handle such a situation and then to switch to this space, so sorry. So, knowing that other women and other great people have been here and will continue be here to speak about the goddesses and the role of women and all the great things that you are getting here, and maybe I just use the stage and use this time to speak a little bit of me and a little bit of where I'm coming from and where are we heading for. So, as I was mentioned, I come from a Bedouin background. I was born as a Palestinian inside. To take it a bit? Okay. Like this? Yeah? Is it good? I come from a Bedouin background. As a Muslim Palestinian, I grew up inside of Israel. And already from early age, I noticed that life for me as a female, as a woman, is not like the same thing as my brothers. And I faced already the discrimination between me and my brothers in small and big things. And my resistance and my fight already started from a very young age. See it that in the Arab society, in the Muslim society where I come from, the occupation that we handle, the political situation that we are in, is not only one layer of occupation. It's not only the political occupation, but it is, we say that Palestinian women, we are in a triple occupation. There is from one side the political situation that is oppressing us and putting us down, and then there is another layer where is the Israeli society, where we as Palestinians are second-class citizens. But then we come to the third layer of occupation, where I want to mention it and put it very clear that without addressing it, there's no way to solution. It's our own society, the Palestinian society, and the men in our society, where this situation of being a woman is not immediately being recognized and being seen. There's a professor, Fatima al-Marnisi from Morocco. She says, when you are born in times and places where your skin is a political issue, you have to become radical. And what does she mean of being, your skin is a political issue? In my society, in my country, in my village, in my tribe, I cannot dress like this. I cannot show my shoulders. I cannot that my skirt is a little bit like this. This is already a reason to kill me. And so when the skin is a political issue, you have to become radical. And my question is, how is it to become radical? What does it mean to become radical? And most of my life as a young person, I thought to become radical is to resist. To resist means to fight. And then I noticed that I was so much fighting patriarchy, I was so much fighting men in front of me that I could not allow myself to fall in love. I could never surrender to love. I married twice, and I have an honor of being divorced twice, which is something so unusual and unaccepted in our society. But I noticed that time and again I'm falling in the same place, that I could not allow myself to fall in love, to surrender to love, to surrender to a man whom I am in love with, because I always mixed it between him and patriarchy. So I started fighting the things that I am longing for, the man that I'm in love with. To become radical is to distinguish between love and the person who is in front of us and the system, that we are both victims of it. To come to a radical place of understanding that both men and women are victims of this system that we built in a wrong way is a radical thinking. So we don't waste our time on fighting the person who is in front of us, but giving a hand of solidarity, of inviting the man to change the situation that we are both in it. I come from a society, as I said before, that we are living under occupation, and we are mixing the fight against the occupier, in this case Israel. Meanwhile, we are keeping the same patterns that Israel is using against us, which is suppressing the Palestinians. We use it in our society to suppress elements inside of us, which is the main element, the woman. And in the first Intifada, I remember when we were as political activists, as women, as a feminist movement, asking our leaders and our companions for the women's rights. They would say, excuse me, it's not time now. We have the occupation to fight against. We have no time now for women's rights and women issues. Yeah? We don't have time for it. There is the occupation, there is this and that. And this was the moment in the feminist political movement of Palestinians to distinguish and to see that we cannot fight, we cannot resist the outside without looking into the patterns that we have inside of us. The occupation is taking lives of Palestinians and of Israelis, as it was now 2,000 people. But in the same time, one cannot just shut up and say that every year, only in Palestine, there is 75 women who are killed on what is called the honor of the family. The honor of the family means if my brother, who is by accident must be here, Yeah. If my brother would see me flirting with a man who is not my husband, he has the duty and the honor and the right to kill me. This is what is called the honor of the family. And each year there is 75 women who are killed inside Palestine for these issues of jealousy, issues of ownership, issues of possession to women, and seeing a woman as a thing and not as a spirit. And we as Palestinians have to address this issue and not only accuse the occupation for our inner patterns. For me, addressing inner patterns inside of our society is a radical political work. When I look into the globe and they say what is common between all these conflicts, then we can see that destroying communities, local communities, forbidding sexuality, oppressing women was the main common thing that was all over the world. First starting by destroying communities and creating us as separate units, as consuming private entities. This was the first place of cutting us from our roots. All these systems that cut communities, all these systems that ruin our society, forbid sexuality. This was the first thing, whether it is capitalism, or whatever system, whether it is a religion, whether it's Christianity, Islam, Judaism, the first thing that was is to forbid sexuality. Destroying communities, forbidding sexuality, and oppressing women was the common threat between all these systems, and these systems that are still ruining our life now. So for me to come from this global compassion to what's happening with women and with us as humanity is to know that community knowledge, how to go back to tribes. I see it here, that how people slowly, when they come from different places and suddenly in one space that brings something in common, tribes and groups and communities start to arise, because this is our deepest longing. And I come from a Bedouin background, as tribe, as community, also cut by the occupation, also cut by capitalism, but still the longing for community still inherited in us and inside each one of you. So to trigger back this longing to be part of a tribe, part of a community, that one is supporting the other, to regain building communities, to regain women power and free sexuality, or sexuality that is free from fear and from forbidden, is three elements that has to become a core and a thread in every women movement, in every place that we want to create another society. To see that in this way of destroying communities and forbidding sexuality and oppressing women, both men and women are lost in a history, in a misguided history. We are both in ruins of history that it was misguided, misleaded. And now it's our time to take our power back and change it. And I see this exactly in the political issues. There is a way that men and women start now to fight each other in every love relationship, or to look into the system that is making these problems between the genders and create a different system. And in my case as a Palestinian, there is a choice. I can also fight the system of Israel, and my people fight the Israeli people, but to step back and see both people, both nations, both groups are suffering from the same illness, the same sickness that we are suffering from it in our personal relationships. We are both victims to the same system, that is separating between us and creating a fight, yeah, that we fight between each other. And this system comes from this place of ownership. The whole system of capitalism, the whole culture that we are living in, is built on being these private units that are very good for the system because we are good consumers. We are very good used by the system. And in this level of capitalism, we own things. This is my man. This is my car. This is my land. This is my holy land. And from this place of ownership, I want to own something for me. I don't see it anymore part of nature, part of planet Earth, part of the whole. You are mine. I possess you. I need you to fulfill my needs. The Holy Land is mine. For 2,000 years I'm longing for it. It's mine. I cannot see any way that you live with me here. And from this place of ownership and wanting to possess things, we also kill people. We also smash another lover, another man, another woman who want to share this love. And when we look into this parallelity between the personal and the political, what does it mean to become radical? For me, to become radical is to look into my patterns of love and knowing that if I don't learn to share a man that I love, I cannot share the love of a land and the homeland that I love. It's the same parallelity. If I cannot see that the man that I love can be loved by another woman, then I cannot see my land, Palestine, being loved and wished by another nation, by another religion. Coming from a history that we all know how women were burned. And still, in the case of my culture, we are still. I lost friends of mine who dared to love in a different way. I lost a woman who was in my same high school. She had 3 children, already 16, 17, and 12. And her husband got crazy because she divorced from him. And then one day he took a gun, he killed her, 3 children, her boss, and her neighbor. And it's in the village next to our village, a woman that I know. So when I speak about women who are losing their lives, I see their faces. I know them, I know their stories. When we all, as women, come from this place, from this long history of being burned and still being killed, and then there is this belief inside of us, we cannot change things. We cannot, we are small. There is a huge culture that is convincing us, also on the political level, to be small, that we are not able to change the governments, we are not able to change the society, we are not able to stop the occupation, we are not able, we as women, we are not able to change the situation. There is a whole culture of convincing us that it is not. And when I gave birth and I saw how much power I had to give, to go through all this pain and bring a child. And when I see this physical power and this immense spiritual forces of life that came through me, how can I not believe in my ability and our ability to change this society? How I'm not able to believe in my power and your power to stop the occupation? How can I not believe in my power and your power to save women from being raped, killed? Look at me, look at you. We are all beings that are made as a shape of the divine. We have curves and beauty that is calling for contact. We are erotic beings, like we love to be touched. I think all of us here, we love to be touched. We love to indulge in life, to be seen as beautiful, as Yeah, this is our nature. It's not radical to say, I am an erotical being. I am a woman. I'm happy. I'm proud to be a woman. I still carry a lot of responsibility of being a woman. I'm a woman and I enjoy it. I love erotic life. I love sexuality. Why is it so radical to say something like this? I mean, look at all of us. We are so beautiful beings, and we did. No, you're saying no. I think we are all beautiful, and I totally believe that only an erotical culture can be a peace culture. Only when we bring back eros, love, contact, sexuality to its sacred place, to its sacred center in our society, only by this we can achieve peace culture. I mean, I come from a political situation where the whole 24/7 we speak about peace. But do we know what does it mean? Does any one of us come from a culture where he can say, I live in peace? Also you. When I look at you, mostly come from European or Western culture, want to say it, and you think that you live in peace. I don't want to argue this, because if each one of us would look back to his society, then we know that we are far away from peace. We are far away from this place of being safe, from being connected, from being loved. We are far away from places that the contacts and the eros, the sexuality that you are longing for, can be accessible in an easy way. We all live in cultures of lies, cultures of deceiving, and the whole issue of eros and sexuality, even if we can be short and look to the outside that we are free and we can do whatever we can, or whatever we want, actually the inner structures we are not. This society is already designed for us exactly how do we live our erotical life, how do we live our sexuality. And to be radical is to question all these frames that we created. And in the last 8 years of my life, I am engaged in an initiative that it's called Peace Research Village. Peace Research Village Middle East. It's a space, it's a vision where we, a group of Israelis and Palestinians and internationals, working in Israel-Palestine, in the Middle East, to create a model that is sustainable. A model that is sustainable from all aspects of life. A model that it's sustainable in the issue of water, food, energy, and human sustainability. A place where we can become Israelis and Palestinians in a space that we can encounter each other without all these identities. Where man and woman can encounter each other without all these barriers, all these shield of protection, of identity, of religion, of borders. And we are in this work for a few years, and now we're about to actually start in a physical, to get a land and to start this model. And we gained a lot of knowledge through the last 5 years, and to see how immediately this political situation with this war in Gaza changed all the cards. And now we again, you work, and then the outer situation is changing everything, and I take it for ourselves that it's not time to back, but actually time to go it even more radical, more to a front, to say this is the only way. This is the only way where we can create trust between us, where we can create a space where Mother Earth can show its gifts again. So this political activism with erotical activism comes with a very concrete model of creating a space where we can model this change in the political level and also in the erotical love level. And I'm happy that I have my brother with me, and I have many friends. I have my daughter with me. Yeah, and we are having good steps toward creating a space where Israel can be free, where Palestine can be free, where the whole planet Earth can be free, free from fear, free from lies, free from false identities that we put it in our shoulders, also as gender, to forbidden us or to hinder us from being the divine forces that we are. Yeah. I thought like the probability that a woman like me can lose her life comparing with other women is very high. First, of being Palestinian and also of being a woman in my society. And this makes me even more radical into looking how can I change this situation. I mean, if anyhow I might lose my life, if anyhow, no, this is the worst situation. Just to say, I love life and I want to live. I have a huge task in front of me to live for, so I'm not calling danger, not at all. But when the probability that I might lose my life because of being a Palestinian or a woman, then I become more radical to emphasize and establish and manifest the ideas and the dreams that I have inside of me. There was a moment a few years ago when my brother, who is like, I mean, he's younger than me in 15 years. He's a small patriarch, very beautiful one, but a patriarch. It's like when he became taller and taller, then he started to want to design for me my life. Huh? Don't dress this, don't do this, don't talk to this, talk to that. And I said to him, you know what? I'm like up till here, no? If I'm up in anyhow, I will die once. All of us, we will die once. So even if you will go for killing, I don't care. I will do what I want to do, and you have to do it. And it was a time that he tried to kill me, and I was saved by people, by my mother. Or actually, my mother is a Muslim religious person with a scarf, with a hijab, very beautiful being. And she could not deal with him physically. But so what she did, she told him, if you continue, if you hurt her, I will take my clothes out and I will go to the street naked. And he didn't believe. He did not believe that she will do it. Yeah? He didn't believe. She took her dress, my mother with all this, she took her dress and was running to the street, I mean the street, like the main street where our farm is. She was running and then he was begging her, Mama, inshallah, don't do it. And then he stopped. And this is the power of women in the small and the big actions. This is a huge power that we have when we are connected with life. We have a huge power, and fear does not guide my life at all. Focus too much in women's sexuality. There is nothing called women's sexuality. There is sexuality. Yeah, there's sexuality for both. I think, even if our expression is man with man or women with women or men and women, in the end, it's sexuality. It's the same sexuality that we are all coming from. And I don't focus on it, but I do see that liberating sexuality, liberating love, yeah, liberating love and sexuality from fear, from false identities, from capitalism and ideology, freeing it and allowing the forces of life to flow through us is a political issue that is up to end patriarchy. When patriarchy is suppressing women, creating us, separating between us as groups, when you turn this, it's like a slap in the face of patriarchy. And this is my point of women liberation. it's a huge presentation to speak about it, but it is mainly peace activists from Israel and from Palestine and international, so each one of you potentially is a co-worker in this initiative. And I do invite you because I think the main protection and change into the dimension of the Holy Land is when you that consider the Holy Land, take your responsibility on it. And sometimes it's by also, maybe I make it as an invitation, let's make a boom festival in the Holy Land and bring all this music there, all this consciousness there. So imagine 30,000 of you are in Jerusalem or around it or around Gaza. No invasion will happen. Yeah, if we dance and we create spaces where we encounter each other, rockets and tanks cannot go to Gaza because we will protect this Holy Land, which belongs to all of us here. And this space is that we create a sustainable model of water, food, and energy together. So our focus is not dialogue and negotiation and identity and religion, but our focus is how can we change the reality that we are living in? How can we change the conditions into life that it's worth living? How can we change our life from being private and consumers and good vessels for the system into an alternative system that heals Mother Earth? So your identity as a Jew or as a German or as a whatever, Portuguese, does not matter for me, no? It doesn't matter. We are all beings who are also being a man or a woman, doesn't matter, but we are working to heal Mother Earth. And we do it in the Holy Land because this would, for us, there is mainly because we come from Israel, Palestine. As we feel the heartbeat of that land, we believe that if we succeed to do something in the Holy Land, we are able to give a model in every place in the world. So this is the space that we are creating and we are going for to create it. I want to say something that I was not asked to answer it, but I want to relate now to the last war in Gaza and to speak a little bit about the radical action that I found inside of myself, because I found myself in this time of the war abroad because I had to give some presentations in Germany. And my daughter, my only daughter, was in Palestine. So when the war started and everything happened like this, for sure my heart was with her because she's my only child and my great love. And she was in a safe place relatively, but still missiles and rockets were like half an hour, 40 minutes from where she's living. And when the flights start to cancel, that she could not fly back, I looked into my heart and I thought, what is my step? What is my radical step now into this war? And for sure I was active with supporting friends who were in Israel and were in Palestine and supporting movement of help, of humanitarian help to go to Gaza, and supported many things, and we signed petitions and lots of things that we done, and we created a vision camp for people who were in Israel, Palestine. But still I found that I am in so much deep fear that my child cannot leave Palestine. And I thought, like, how can I save her here in this moment? And I went inner and inner to this place of being radical into finding what is still in my heart that allows war to happen. And the thing that I found, and maybe you will not, I hope I can transmit what is it, because it's not a finished thought or a finished image inside of me, but I share it with you. I found that the system of war, the reality of war and oppression and the occupation, the system of war has a station inside of me if I allow it. The occupation, the war everywhere in the world has a station in each one of you if you allow it. And what is this station? In my case, maybe each one of you can find another station where the system can take you, where you are part of the system. I found that I was part of the system as a Palestinian woman in every place that in my heart I could not fully love a man or a woman only because he is an Israeli or a Jewish. She is an Israeli or a Jewish. these spots inside of my heart where I cannot love fully because I identify him part of a group, was exactly the place where the occupation could hook in my heart, because my heart was occupied with fear, occupied with identity, occupied with separation. And for me, I thought, like, in order to free this place, so I can also have my child back, because it's not linear, no? I put it now linear, that it's in the same place. But in order to make this step, I have to clean this place inside of me. And it was such a great joy and relief when I went into an inner process of releasing and relieving each one from my friends, Israeli friends, and I'm speaking about peace workers that I work with them, but I still had an open account against them because he did this to me and she did this to me and dana. And when I went into this process of releasing them from all these fears, from all these judgments inside of me, I could feel that at that moment, the occupation, the war had no station in my heart. My heart was free, totally free. So I thought this was my main contribution to ending this war now in Gaza. This was my little contribution, being far away, and each one of us can find where he does not allow the system of war, the system of patriarchy, to have a station inside of him. Each one of you might find another reasons, but it is, again, as this festival is about connecting with the spirit of music, connecting with nature, connecting with the spirit of tribe, each one of us in this process of awakening will find her or his station where he wants to set free, so the system of war and violence does not have a station inside of our hearts. I mean, I don't want to repeat it, but just to say that to find where, okay, I start from this. What is going in the outside is happening because it's happening inside of us, first of all. And this, I think, maybe most of us would agree on it, that the war, what is happening in if there's starvation in Africa, it's happening inside of us, and it's happening also because of us. There's war in the outside, it's happening because something inside of us is allowing it. And it's happening because we are participating. We are all here participating in war systems. And this would need also maybe another talk. What does it mean? A person who is here saying, hey, sorry, I live in a peace culture or a safe culture. I am not part of war. But then we would go into a deeper conversation. How do we all end when we are part of the system as supporting directly or indirectly every war, every starvation, every problem that is happening in the universe? What is happening in the universe, in all planet Earth, is resonating in us. The fear that we have when we encounter a man, also women who are in safe societies, there is this fear. The fear when we open in sexuality, this fear is resonating because of thousands of years of suppression. It's happening because a woman in India only last year was raped in a huge group in front of everybody. It's happening because girls are born in certain tribes in Africa and in the Middle East, and their sexual genitals is cut. These fears that are happening in the outside are represented inside each one of us, also in a very intimate sexual contact. I found that the system of war and oppression has a station inside of me when I don't give all my love to you only because of your religion or your identity. I am discriminating. And this is what Israel does to me. This is what we in Europe, you in Europe, do to foreigners, to immigrants. This is what we all do. Yeah? The racism, the fascism that is growing in Europe, this is where actually Israel is counting on. As long as there is
fascism and racism in Europe and in the whole world, Israel can do what is happening in Gaza, because Israel is counting on this racism. But if we eliminate racism in our societies and how to do it, and so I think we have enough knowledge in humanity how to do it, and it's about cleaning our hearts, of seeing where do I discriminate somebody else because he belongs to another group in my neighborhood in Berlin or in Lisbon. Where do I do it? And when we clean these places, then we cannot, then Israel has no capacity, no possibility, no lobby to do what it's doing in Gaza. Then there is no wars that are happening in the world. For me, this is where, when I open my heart into a global aspects and not only deal with my personal problems and with the local conflict in Israel-Palestine, we are in times that it needs global compassion, global awakening. Like, if we would create here a beautiful place, an utopia, yeah? We would create here utopia, but this utopia will stay as a bubble. It means nothing, nothing, because there's no island of safety or happiness when the whole world is drowning. There's no island of joy and fulfillment when the whole world is suffering. This is why we are here, to find such answers. If like humble a person like me would stand here and say, I have the answers, how can we do it? Then it's yeah, it's not respecting our position actually. But to say that there is enough knowledge in humanity in these times that we can bring it into manifestation. And I want to say that we have, oh God, when one looks to what's happening in the world now, it feels like it is the most dark moments. And we all studied about the Holocaust, and we all studied about the Middle Ages, and burning witches and burning women, and all this is in our history. But nevertheless, what is happening now, the massive destruction of humanity, of Mother Earth, of people, has never happened like this in history. I feel like we are in the most dark moments of history. And imagine the night. There comes the moment before the sunrise. These are the moments of the most dark moments. When you encounter the night, all of the night, only from this hours of darkness, you lose hope. And you can stay with hope when you know that the sun will rise. There's a deep promise in nature, in life itself, that the sun will rise. Also tonight, tomorrow the sun will come. And deep in my heart, I totally believe that, although it feels so dark, and although my people are paying the biggest, I don't want to say the biggest price, a huge price now, I have no right to lose hope. A friend of mine told me, Aida, when we are born as Palestinian women, in our manual, the word losing hope does not exist. We cannot lose hope. Deep in my heart, I know that evolution is toward love, and evolution is toward healing. And I know, as when I gave birth and this huge pain that came inside of my body, the only thing that could keep me alive and take this pain is that I knew that after this there's a baby coming, there's life coming. And I can take this most darkest moments when I know and I believe that the sun will rise. I can take to my heart what is going now in Gaza, when I know that when we unite, this will finish. This nightmare, this dream of fear will finish. And I know that inside of each one of us, we are inheriting lots of knowledge, a lot of knowledge that can take us out of this. And we need to unite in this. And I totally believe that now in the year 2014, with all these massive possibilities of technology, of possibility to meet, possibility to fly from place to place. Now, I don't know if these cameras are broadcasting in Australia or in here and there. Now, in each moment, we have the possibility to reach millions of people in every given moment. Jesus himself did not have this possibility. Imagine Jesus would be in these times and send his message via Facebook or via message of love and healing with all the possibilities that we have now. So we are blessed. We have this possibility that we can talk other languages, that we can communicate with each other, we can come together. We have enough knowledge in areas of ecology, spirituality, technology that can change the reality that we are living in. And there's models, there is concrete models in this world of communities who are working for sustainability and models of societies that are working for different positions of the genders. We can unite and spread this knowledge and come together. How to do it, and it's maybe the space is too small now to, and as my main work is a political networker, I would love to come together with you and share more possibilities of networking, possibilities how we can empower ourselves and unite together. Once we have a common aim, once we see, all of us, we see where are we heading, then we can do it. The تقنيات كيف نقول تقنيات I lost it in English. The mythologies, the ways to do it, the techniques, how to do it and what to do, strategies and concrete steps, we can find it. But we have to find that we are heading toward one aim. And for me, one aim is a place where it is fair for all. Fair for all. Yeah? Fair for all. Israelis, Palestinians, this is the smallest example. Men and women, nature, animals, spirits, fair for all, where all participants can dance together, can dwell together. Because we all, our deepest pain in humanity, that we still have the taste inside of us, the taste of paradise. We all once have been in paradise. Our souls, our spirit, once was dancing with this divine dance in paradise, and we still have this taste inside of us. We are longing for it. So in every place where we encounter a beautiful love-making, where we are in nature and we are united and we feel this dance, when we eat something and it's triggering something inside of us, the longing and the memories of paradise are triggered. Can we create spots on earth where we can see this paradise, where we can live it in small places and in small spots, like this spot that we want to create in Israel-Palestine, where these spots of light and alternative, concrete alternatives, I'm not speaking about science fiction, there is alternatives of sustainability in all aspects of life. There's many communities and many places that are showing this change. Can we make this change being possible also for people in Israel-Palestine, so we can stop this scarcity thinking that there's no enough water, there's no enough land, there's no enough food for everybody, so it's okay that some people die because it's my land. There's no enough love for me, so I fight you. I finally got him, he's mine. And then we build borders around the beloved that we loved. Finally, after 2,000 years of being in exile, we are finally in the state of Israel. We have homeland, and then we create wall. It's mine. Yeah, these walls does not belong to Mother Earth. Mother Earth, nature does not create walls. Does not create walls of separation. Can we not create walls of separation? Can we work with Mother Earth, with nature, in harmony? And for this, there's enough knowledge. For this, there's enough ways to communicate between each other. There's enough techniques.